Hi, everybody.
How you doing, guys? We're back. We haven't done a video in quite a while but we're back. Different video. We're not going to talk about cigars tonight.
A little bit.
A little bit, but not too much.
This video is brought to you by Flor de Tampa.
There you go.
My brand. Our brand.
Our brand. Flor de Tampa. Yes, our favorite one.
Which, by the way, let me just say, we're going to, like you said, we're going to dedicate this video to our friend Arturo Sandoval, the great Cuban trumpeter that I had the pleasure to go visit last night, see his show. And then afterwards, we were able to, have a little bit of quality time and smoke cigars.
Which I just found out. You're a jazz lover. You've been
I've been a jazz lover for years.
Yeah. I didn't know. Latin jazz and Afro-Cuban jazz and then Latin jazz. And he went to see Arturo Sandoval. And that's what's the show going to be today about Arturo.
I'm going to cut my cigar.
Arturo Sandoval in the Straz Center yesterday, and Cynthia Fuente was there, and a lot of people were there, and he was lucky enough that after the show was over to hang out with Arturo and had a lengthy conversation, which was pretty cool. Because he thought that Arturo, after the show and everything, was going to be tired, and no, the first thing he wanted to do was smoke a cigar.
Yeah, he said to me, I said, I gave him this really nice plaque that I did, and the plaque basically said, welcome to Tampa, the faithful town, the very faithful town in Spanish, El Pueblo Fiel, which Jose Marti came to Tampa 7 times during Cuba's War of Independence, and he would call Tampa his faithful town, El Pueblo Fiel. So I wanted to kind of give him a little gesture and that was nice, something part of Tampa, and that was, I think, very appropriate. So,
and we're going to put the image here, but if not, you can check it out on the social media. He put it up there, and with Arturo,
show you guys what it looks like.
Arturo really loved it. It was really nice.
He really appreciated it.
I mean, yeah.
But anyway, Arturo Sandoval is a great person, an even more amazing musician. He just recently got the Kennedy Award.
I'm so excited to be here tonight to tell you about my incredibly talented friend, Arturo Sandoval. I've had the great privilege to play him in a biopic for Love Our Country, where I learned so much about him. Arturo, the son of an auto mechanic, found the trumpet when he joined his hometown's Artemisa's marching band, where he learned to read music. And despite some early setbacks, his talent and work ethic eventually turned him into a great musician and an exceptional trompetista. Along the way, he discovered jazz. And for the first time Arturo heard an album by Dizzy Gillespie and Charlie Parker, it was like hearing something he had no idea even existed. And yet, he felt like somehow he already spoke the language. He was hooked. He became obsessed, and when jazz music was banned in Cuba and marked as the music of the enemy, Arturo went to jail rather than to forego the pleasure of the art form. So how does a musician who craves a genre of music that endangers him express that longing and that trauma? He learns to play notes and octaves most could only dream of. And if you ask him how he does it, he'll say with a smile, "You tighten your butt very hard and then you blow." It's true. I've tried it. It doesn't work for me. Arturo spoke very little English when he arrived in America 35 years ago, but now his English is worse. He also continues to defy the rules, and he creates something new by helping to establish the band Irakere. Under the pressure of the government to not play jazz, but with an immense need to express themselves, Arturo and his bandmates, and the likes of Chucho Valdez and Paquito de Rivera, to name a few, masked the jazzy improvisations they loved inside both experimental and traditional Afro-Cuban rhythms. It had never been done before, and the world loved it. Arturo blew into his trumpet, shouting his annoyance right in the oppressors' faces, all the while standing in the spotlight and soaking up their applause.
For those of you guys that don't know, he's jazz, like Fernando said, Latin jazz musician, trumpet. But last night, he showcased many of the different instruments that he plays, timbales, the piano.
He's a
virtuoso.
He sings. He's a musician, a virtuoso. He plays many instruments. He's really good.
You know, something that he said to me last night that we were talking about too earlier. I just wanted to know, like I asked him, because like Fernando says, you know, I have a deep appreciation for Latin jazz and the Cuban influence, which going back, you know, and that's where Arturo is tied into the story, is that he was friends with, of course, his mentor was Dizzy Gillespie. And Dizzy Gillespie was dear friends with famous Cuban conga player Chano Pozo.
And talking with Arnold right now, I just found out, because I know in the 80s he was touring a lot in Europe and he was touring a lot in America, going around, and I thought he was outside of Cuba by then. But you said no, he didn't come out until 89.
1989, yeah, that's when he if you guys haven't watched it, and I'll put a clip of that as well, For Love or Country. It's a movie that it's his life story, and Andy Garcia plays Arturo Sandoval in the movie, and it's an amazing movie. I've watched it so many times. I mean, I strongly recommend. It was originally made for HBO, but it's an amazing movie. Great Cuban actors, very authentic. Andy Garcia produced it, you know, with the help of Emilio and Gloria Estefan.
And you did ask Arturo about all this part of the movie,
God, yeah.
and he pretty much confirmed that it was straight.
I was so like happy to do this, because I wish, guys, I could have like, I guess, like done an official interview, because I almost felt like it was an interview, impromptu. And I asked him, I said, Arturo, out of all the stuff in the movie, how authentic was he? He says about 90%, 95%. Everything was pretty spot on.
It was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
That was really amazing. But yeah, he, like you said, so in 78, Dizzy Gillespie goes to Cuba on a visa, you know, on a special trip during the Carter years. And he basically goes into Havana. And of course, him and a lot of the members of the Irakere band were, you know, aficionados of jazz music. And they find out that Dizzy Gillespie was going to Cuba, and they're like, "Oh my God, we got to find out how we can get a hold of him and meet him." And Arturo took him for a tour of Havana, and that's how they became friends. Years later, he invited him to participate in the United Nations Orchestra. They toured Europe, and that's when Arturo actually defected in 1989.
Yeah, which was great. I didn't know the story that he lived in Miami Lakes, where you would drive by almost every day, pass by his house.
Miami Springs,
and pass by his house, and then he moved to California, and you found out, confirm really the story. How did he go from Miami to California? What was that made him move? You know,
he loves to be on the road and do shows and so. I mean, he's just an amazing virtuoso, like we were saying. But he started writing scores for movies. That's a big thing that he just loves. I mean, it's like a passion project for him, and he does a lot of movies, or has done, with Clint Eastwood, Andy Garcia, of course, and Andy and other people have introduced him to a whole array of folks. And I asked him, I said, "How did you get into this?" He said, "Well, he did a score, and somebody said, Arturo, you really want to get into this?" He goes, "You're in the wrong town," because he was living in Miami. And that's when him and his wife, once their parents passed away, they made the decision to move out west, and now, he can write these scores.
Tinseltown, you got to move there.
You got to be. to be in Hollywood.
But I was just thinking, because I didn't know about Arnold hanging out with Sandoval and his concert.
Also honored to be there with Cynthia and the Fuente family.
And the funny stuff, I'm like, wow. So being involved in cigars got you to hang out after the concert with Sandoval.
Well, we saw him last year, remember, at the PCA.
We saw him last year in PCA.
And I got to bullshit with him a little bit. But I mean...
Yeah.
Going back 20-something years, I showed him a picture of me, him, and my dad.
Yeah.
And he was like, wow, that's a great picture. And hey, I've showed it to him before.
You know. How cool that you were able to hang out last night.
We got to spend great time.
And spend some time together talking and smoking cigars.
Oh my God, and talked about the movie. And, you know, I asked him so many different questions about, you know, when he met, you know, Dizzy and the stuff he went. I mean, this poor man, if you, like I said, if you guys haven't seen the movie, I strongly encourage you to watch it. But he is another story of resilience, you know, having gone through the pressure cooker in Cuba. And they wanted to destroy him, you know, they wanted to just destroy everything he loved. And I mean, the man was just, think about it, he was just a jazz musician, classically trained, but a lover of jazz music in Cuba, and that was a crime. That just goes to show how you, like, living in a country like that, you can, they take all your freedoms away.
The imperial, the capitalist music,
right.
You couldn't play.
The music of the enemy.
Of the enemy, you couldn't play that in Cuba. It was a no for him. And this is the other question I asked you. Well, but he did play. They did play. And how did they play Afro-Cuban jazz or Latin jazz when it was illegal to play?
Well, what they did was they were part of the Orquesta Cubana de Música Moderna, the modern modern band of Cuban music, and they had to get. This is how it was, right? Everything that they were going to perform had to go in front of the minister of the culture ministry, right? And they had to sign off on it. And jazz was a no-no. I mean, there was no way they were going to allow American jazz. So they came up with this really amazing, ingenious thing, which was, let's put a bunch of conga drums in the front, and let's play conga music, and, you know, with the trumpets and the horn section. And that's how they were able to disguise the whole thing. And then they wore these African batilongos, you know, Cuban style batilongo, African style. And that's how they got away with it. And, you know, Dizzy, when he came to Havana in '78, like I said, he just fell in love with Cuban music. And the whole, he said it, like in the movie they showcased that the heart of the African music, because of the drums and everything, was in Cuba. And they were just like, wow, this is unbelievable. So, I mean, Arturo Sandoval, other than, you know, last night and the fun that we had, he is, in his own right, an amazing, I'm going to say probably the most talented trumpet player in the world right now.
Right now,
Okay, I don't want to take credit away from Dizzy or Maynard Ferguson or any of these amazing jazz musicians. Marcellus, Wynton Marsalis.
Just
like incredible. But right now, I mean, he's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's
just gained his stature. It's just, you know.
He's always been great. You know, the Latin jazz, there was something new for everybody that, you know, when you hear Latin jazz, you think something. When we heard Latin jazz, we were like, wow, that has some cool rhythm right there. And he, you know, somebody that made us like, you know, jazz at the time.
We even got to talk about all the different conga players that he got to meet.
Yeah.
Mongo Santamaria, and Patato Valdez, Francisco Aguabella, and, you know, the list goes on and on and on. And all these guys came over after the Chano Pozo connection with Dizzy Gillespie in, I think, the 30s. Sadly, Chano was murdered in New York, in Harlem. You know, I'm not gonna say typical Cuban, but he got into some sort of bar fight in New York, and all hell broke loose, and he got stabbed and he died. Yeah. But, you know, he was dear friends with Dizzy, and Dizzy had brought him over from. And he told me too last night that he got to meet when he came to New York in '79, because of the Dizzy Gillespie visit to Cuba, they got invited to come over in '79. And then CBS Records signed them, and they performed at Carnegie Hall, sold out. And that record, I'll put a picture of the label here too, of the record, you know, cover. It was the Irakere Live at Carnegie Hall, 1979. That record won a Grammy back in '79. So he got to meet, when he came, I was going to tell you, he got to meet Mario Bauzá, who was a director of bands, one of the most famous Cubans to ever come to the United States, like during the Desi Arnaz years, and he'd been in New York forever and ever, and he got to meet Patato and Mongo Santa Maria and all these old Cuban guys that had been here for many years.
And then and all a bunch of the Latin jazz musicians that were in the New York area, and that's what I would say, because I remember in the 90s, Latin jazz was going on in all these clubs down in the Bowery.
Tito Puente would play at Berlin. I have that record.
And that's what we were talking about, Berlin. And the other place.
Blue Note.
Blue Note.
Let me just say, I asked him, I said, Arturo, where, in your opinion, what is the most jazzy scene in the United States? Because I've heard San Francisco, Chicago, New Orleans, right? All great places that have a lot of strong jazz scene, but he said New York. He said New York is the epicenter still of the jazz music.
Wow.
It's specific, like you said, the Blue Note, the Birdland. I mean,
there was a few clubs down there that would allow them to play jazz and everything. And like I said, it was in the 90s. So, in I thought, oh man, he's been out of Cuba since the 70s. He goes, no, in '89 is when he was able to come.
He actually was able to get out. He was on
with
tour.
His wife and kid, which is...
And I asked him that. I said, how did that go down? He goes, well, he was on a tour with the United Nations Orchestra, Dizzy Gillespie. And, they went to tour in Greece. But he had already asked the Cuban government, hey, you think it's possible to maybe let my wife and kids, to go with me on this tour? And somehow he convinced them, and they let him out.
And that was that.
And he was on tour, and then that's when Dizzy and him went to the U.S. Embassy, American Embassy in Greece, in Athens, and they gave him the visa, and they were able to come over to the United States. So I think they were in Spain, the wife and kid.
Oh, wow.
While he was in tour in Greece.
In Greece, yeah, which is...
And then they all got together, and then they came to Miami. It was just amazing. I mean, this poor man, like I said, they put him through the pressure cooker, man. And, for me to see him honored last month at the Kennedy Award,
Kennedy Center was
great. He deserves it. I mean,
he deserved it. It was
and
great.
Before that, some years ago, he also received the not the Congressional Medal, the other one, the Medal of Freedom.
Yeah. I mean, he's been great. I mean, a great.
It's ironic. Musician. I mean, imagine just like Celia Cruz. Let's bring her up here. The most amazing Cuban musician of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, her and Benny Moré, but of course Celia came here, so she was, in my opinion, bigger than Benny.
Yes, I mean, Celia with Fania, All Stars, and everything. I mean, she just blew up all over the world.
People loved her from everywhere.
Yeah, and everything.
But these two, I mean, if you think about it, are the maximum. I don't know. Can you say exponents in English? Is that good? Maximum exponente?
It could be.
In Spanish,
but
they're like the biggest deal. For Cubans, right? And imagine your country will not recognize you, but the U.S. will put Celia Cruz on a stamp, and will give Arturo all these honors and awards. I mean, wow, it's sad, really, but it's honorable for them. But it's sad that their own homeland, because of the dictatorship in Cuba, that has still lasted all these years. I hate to get political, but there's no other way around. Still ruining that country.
A lot of famous people, a lot of famous Cubans are not being recognized in their own country. Luckily enough, other countries recognize talent and everything, and they say, hey, we got to recognize this guy because of his talent, because what they have done. And, Arturo still kicking it, still doing
something?
Today he's supposed to be...
He's in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte. So last night he...
Sold out in Tampa last night.
I
think he sold out in Charlotte. I mean, his band that he's put together, I mean, we talked about that. He's got a Colombian guy playing the congas.
Yeah.
That Colombian guy, I mean, I'll try to put it in the video, but I don't want to make this video too long. He was playing the maracas for over 15 minutes like this, straight. Wow. Yeah. He said to me, he goes, did you see the percussionist that I got? I go, where'd you get this guy from, man? He goes, he's Colombian, he's unbelievable. I go, yeah, no shit. And he's amazing on the congas, and he's amazing on the maracas. You know, I'm a struggling musician myself.
Yeah, you're struggling musician.
I play my conga drums. Not that great.
He plays the conga drum by himself in his little cabin
Listen, I'll tell you
where
something.
nobody else can listen to him.
Somebody asked me one time. This was a long time ago. Right? Somebody said, "So who have you played with?" I swear to God, right? Mm-hmm. I said, "Me? Shit." In Spanish, but I'll say it in English. I go, "I've played with the best musicians from Latin America and Cuba." And they go, "No shit." They go, "How did you do that?" I go, "Well, easy. I turn on the radio. Put on the freaking radio, and I play my drums.
play your
I'm playing with them. I'm playing. They're just not there. They're just not there.
Yeah, you play. They don't know, but you're playing with them.
They don't know, but I'm. Yeah. Anyway, but I really do love my conga drums, and I'm struggling at heart. At heart.
You're a conga player at heart.
I'm a conga player. Kind of like Carlitos, a trumpet player at heart too.
Yeah. Well, no, Carlito was a trumpet player.
He was not that good though. He said he told me.
But he still wasn't part of the band.
But he was part of.
He was making a living, so he was a professional, and now he's not that good. He hasn't practiced maybe in many years.
He's a little rusty.
Yeah.
But let's just say that Arturo is a dear friend of the Fuente family, and for many, many years, and I'm so honored that I was able to be a part of that with them last night. And thank you very much to my friends.
It was great.
Have the opportunity
that you had that chance to go out and
I gave him this plaque, like I said, that was welcoming him to Tampa, and Marti, Jose Marti had Cuba's Patriot leader was living in Tampa for many years, and he would be here so much. 7 times he was here. So it was like the faithful time.
It was great. It was great that you had that chance, and it was great that you were able to hang out and you love history and talk to him about his history, his past, his life, and go over all of the movie and all of his stuff, and they'll confirm what went on in his life. It was pretty cool. I mean, it was
a great opportunity.
So really if you want to have that opportunity, you got to have Flor de Tampa.
Oh, and you know what? I'm not going to take any steam away from the Fuentes, but we did give him. I gave him some of my. And I said, listen. I said, Arturo, I know that you only smoke Opus and you only smoke Fuente, but I want to give you some of ours that are my family cigars. And Carlito's always been very supportive of me bringing back the old Tampa labels, which Flor de Tampa is one of them. Yeah. Principe de Gales, I gave him some of those. That's another one, Mr. Igor. And he was like, "Wow, thank you so much. Are these for me?" I said, "Sure."
Not to plug us in, but we also have El Capitan coming soon. That's a full body cigar, San Andres. Yeah. Juan de Fuca.
Juan de Fuca.
Come on. Cameroon wrap. So we have a Cameroon wrap. We have Juan de Fuca.
We got a few different ones out there now, and I think
we're not talking about cigars. We're just letting you know what we have, just in case you need.
Well, we'll talk about cigars a little bit. Yeah. We can't not talk about cigars.
Yeah.
He's a lover of cigars, and like you said, as soon as the concert ended, we weren't sure if he was going to stick around, if he was going to go to his room and rest. I mean, because the man played 90 minutes nonstop.
Yeah.
And he's 76 years old, I think, so he's up there. But he's got so much energy. He said, "You know what? No," he goes, I can't wait. Let's go outside and smoke a cigar. So we were able to just go out there and have a great time, and it was really, really magical. I'm really glad that I was able to do it. So, thank you, Arturo. Hopefully you'll see the video. I'll send it to you. But thanks for a really great evening. Even though I wasn't really interviewing you, I mean, you answered all these questions, and
it was just a friendly conversation. Yes. Very informative for you, and you love the history. You love Sandoval. You love what he has done, and you just want it to be. It's great that you got the story from him.
Like I said, from the horse's mouth.
From the horse's mouth. Yeah, you got it from him. So it's like, wow, it's even.
And sadly, Carlito wasn't able to be there last night, and him and Carlito, they're like brothers. And he was in the DR. He had other obligations to take to attend to or whatever. So I'm actually happy that I was able to attend.
That's great, man. You had a great time. I saw it this morning on social media.
You saw it and you were like, "What the hell is this guy?"
I saw it this morning on social media. What is this guy doing hanging out with Arturo Sandoval?
But he was in Yankee Stadium the night before.
And he goes, "Yeah." And he was in Yankee Stadium on Wednesday. The night before, he was in Yankee Stadium, and now he's hanging out with Arturo Sandoval.
We're at the Legends Field.
And I'm like,
Steinbrenner Field. Yeah.
Why didn't I get invited? That's the question I'm asking. Why didn't I get invited?
For all of you guys out there watching, should we invite Fernando next time? Send me a message.
Hanging out in Yankee Stadium.
Let's do a poll.
Hanging out in Yankee Stadium. And go, okay, Yankee Stadium, he was hanging out to jazz, knowing that I like jazz, and go with Arturo Sandoval. And I didn't
tell you though. I got a contract with Arturo. I'm going to be in Montreal, the Montreal Jazz Festival. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. I wish.
We will be at the PCA. We will be at the PCA.
New Orleans.
We will be in Chicago.
Yeah, the Chicago International Pipe and Cigar Show. I committed to doing that as well.
We'll be there too.
Sounds really fun, and I can't wait to do that one as well.
So, which I'm not invited anyway, so I'll be here working while he's having a good time over there.
Somebody's got to stay behind, and thank God it's my buddy.
Yeah, but no, he had a great time. It was great. He had a chance to do that and hang out with Arturo, and
it was really great. And Rich Myberg was there. He gave him a hat when he was on stage. He gave him an Opus X hat, and he put it right on, and I'll put that clip too. It's really cool.
And that's when he said that he only smokes Fuente cigars.
Yeah, and he only smokes Fuente, and he loves the Fuente family. They're like family, man, you know?
Yeah.
So
Thank you very much, my friends. Thank you so much. Thank you. I love you, man. Thank you. Yeah. Now, you know what it is? Now, we're talking about this. This is the best cigars in the world. There's a family that born and raised over here in Tampa. They started the whole thing in 1912. There was a little boy, 10 years old, he came from Cuba to Tampa when he was 10 years old in 1912. When he was 20, he started making cigars. Actually, he came here in 1902, and then he started making cigars in 1912. And I'm so lucky because I consider myself the Fuente family.
Aquí está Cynthia.
I know.
Atrás.
I know. But I consider the Fuente family my own family. Those people have been so close to me for so many years. Since I've been in the US, this is the only cigar I smoke. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm 76 years old. I started smoking cigars when I was 14. I never quit a day in my life. I'm still smoking cigars. But you can see my boss trumpet, you see, you know what's that? The Arturo Fuente. And the other one as well. Oh my God, it's not only my hand, horn is my heart, I love it. And here is Cynthia Fuentes. Cynthia, thank you for coming, my dear sister. Thank you.
I didn't want to step on anybody's toes. I'm just happy that I was able to give him the cigars as a gesture, and he was happy about that. So
and enjoy your night. It was you need a
little R&R. It's nice to have a little bit
hang
of
out and do that. And it was
but anyway, I don't know how long this video is going to be because I'm going to just put some different clips of the music and. I mean, imagine 90 minutes of really amazing music.
Yeah.
I'll try to kind of edit that.
90 minutes of music, and then 2 hours of just talking with him and smoking a cigar.
Cool.
So hopefully, maybe we have to do 2 parts of this video. Maybe we'll do 2 parts. I don't know.
You know what? When you do these videos and they're too long, people don't really. I get the feedback that my God, it's so long.
Yeah.
But I know that when you make a video that's
maybe you could do 2 parts, part 1, part 2, and make it.
I don't know. I'm not going to commit to any time. We'll see. But I hope you guys enjoy the content and
yes, thank you very much.
for watching. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I mean, hey, enjoy your cigar. Come, call us, let us know what you need.
For all of you that have been asking, where's Fernando? Here he is.
Here I am.
So
just we've been busy. We've been a little bit busy.
We've been very busy lately.
But
we're doing well.
Yeah.
Store's back to normal. As normal as going to, as it can be or whatever. And we had 3 feet of water in here, so thanks again to you and Serafin,
the whole gang,
everybody pitched in and helped, and we're back at it again.
Especially Serafin. Let's name Serafin. All the way he gets upset.
He stopped here today. I told him, I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Well, I got to make a little pit stop." I said, "I got a lamp we got to hang."
Yeah.
Well, what the hell's going on? I'll give it to Fernando. I'll hang it on Sunday. Yeah. So he's got a job when he comes.
He's got a job on Sunday. Yeah.
But that's what we've been up to, and just wanted to say hi. give you guys this is our first video of the year too.
This is the first video of the year, yes. So hopefully we keep on making these and keep you up to date in what we're doing. And thank you very much for watching and buying our product. We really appreciate it.
And like the captain would say,
hey,
thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming. Nos vemos.
Take care, guys. Thanks for watching.
It's a terrible feeling when you walk into the house, you know, like a theater or a club or whatever, you know, and you see a lot of empty seats, and it's a bad feeling, you know. But when you see the people like this that appreciate what we're doing over here, it's good to have.